So the loss of cognitive ability is not usually picked up on from the person who has the loss, right? It's up to us, the person watching from the outside, a loved one, a spouse, a good friend. We are the ones that are responsible for really identifying if somebody is having a lot of struggles living on their own. Our brains control absolutely everything, right? So whether it's our movements, which keeps us upright and not falling down and breaking bones, whether it's decision making, not picking up that phone call from the telemarketer and sending them $10,000. Just overall cognitive loss is a really difficult situation for most families. And it's tough to have the conversation because pretty typically the person that's going through this doesn't really realize how much this has affected that person. And quite frankly, it's hard to identify because it's hard to assess somebody who might be really good one day, but then on another day, they might be really struggling with some of these real basic things. So I'm going to talk to you about the 8 basic things that are recognized by doctors in terms of cognitive loss. So the first one is poor judgment. So this is kind of a general category of just saying, these person are not making the same type of judgment calls that they used to make. Maybe they're often driving could be a part of this, right? So they're driving when they really shouldn't be. Maybe they've reduced the amount of activities that they've been doing. Maybe they've had a hobby for a very long time. They no longer do that, or they no longer trust themselves to do it properly. Like things like woodworking. Somebody with cognitive loss may have had a couple close calls, and they no longer want to do those types of things. Maybe they're no longer volunteering their time or going to a club, going to church. That's usually some sort of warning sign there. They repeat themselves over and over, right? So maybe they've told you the same story several times. They will talk to you about this one time, and these are things that they're pulling up that their memory can grab a hold of and making them feel good about telling a complete story. But of course, you've heard this story a few times. Something to be looking out for there. Forgetting the year or the month that we're in. I was giving a tour and I asked this man, hey, how long have you been living in the place that you've been living? Kind of just making conversation. And he said, about 3 months. I said, 3 months? And he said, oh no, like 20 years. I was like, oh, okay, well that's a pretty big difference. Often when we get something new for the kitchen, whatever, everything comes with directions, right? And so can this person follow directions? This is something that takes that real logical part of our mind, and can you put together or assemble things? This could be a sign that they no longer have the same cognitive ability as they had before. Money is a big one. If they've always been very determined to pay their bills on time or understand how to do all the financing, writing checks at a certain time of the month, often this will be a place where the family can step in even before caregivers to take responsibility and have a power of attorney set up for your loved one. Getting to appointments on time, they may have been very, very punctual and all of a sudden, whoops, I forgot that I had a dentist appointment, or I forgot that I had a doctor's appointment. So these are other warning signs that something might be going on there. And then lastly, the thinking will sometimes just slow. Maybe you don't forget things, but it is really, really hard to get to your idea in your head. So it just kind of stalls out, like somewhere in there they know the answer to the question, but they can't quite get it out. And so those are other areas that I think that you should be looking out for. Overall, none of these things are new to you. It's just they're very important once you start seeing some of these signs to keep a good eye on it. Make sure that you're going to doctor's appointments and communicating these things to the doctor. And if it gets to a point where they need to see a neurologist for dementia, then of course that's an important step. Let's see. So this is tough on everybody involved. And many times our loved ones have denial about this. They don't want anything to change in their lives. And so it can make it very tricky. It's a lot to go through on your own. And I've been doing this for a while now, and I think I can help in many ways. Whether you're looking for a caregiver, you're looking to check out some of the assisted living or memory care solutions that are out there in San Luis Obispo County, I can walk you through the different options, get you pricing, and at least get you started in this process to know what your options are. So give me a call. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes. We can chat. I can hear a little bit about your story, and we can take it from there. All right? Talk to you soon.